Maoist Rebel News fans, many of you know that there are anti-NATO protests going on in Chicago right now. Well, now according to the Chicago police, 3 anti-NATO protesters have been charged on conspiracy to commit terrorism. According to police, they plan to attack 4 police stations, a local campaign headquarters for Barack Obama, and Chicago Mayor Rahm Emanuel. There was also a 4th man charged on Saturday, but they're not sure if they're actually linked. Now, this is what's going on according to MSNBC. While friends of the first 3 men insist they were just operating a home brewery, prosecutors stated the police found a gun that fires mortar rounds, swords, a hunting bow, ninja-like throwing stars, and knives with brass knuckle handles. The beer brewing operation, prosecutors added, was used to fill bottles with gasoline and would later be thrown as Molotov cocktails. In addition to all of this, they are charging them with conspiracy to commit terrorism, possession of an explosive or incendiary device, and material support for terrorism. Essentially, they're charging them with absolutely as much as they could within the realm of terrorism itself. Now, they were arrested by undercover police. Now, their defense attorney says that the Molotov cocktails were actually provided by these undercover police that were doing a sting or what have you. And they're saying that this is actually entrapment. These Molotov cocktails, the real weapons that would actually get used at a terrorist event, were actually provided for by the police. Now, the police also claimed that the group wanted to purchase assault rifles, which is your right as an American citizen to own weapons. I don't know about the specific gun laws in Chicago, but owning firearms is a right citizens have, and you can't use a citizen's right as a means of portraying them as a terrorist. Now, this is a highly dubious claim by the state. This looks to me like a bunch of circumstantial evidence, things that you are allowed by law to have, and then use the combination of them and the fact that they're protesters to try to portray them as the bad guys. Now, some of the things they had were, swords, a hunting bow, ninja-like throwing stars, and knives. Now, this is just, for the lack of a better term, just cool shit that, any young guy would have. Like anybody in their late teens, earlier mid-20s. I mean, I got some of that stuff here. That doesn't make me a terrorist. It just means I like cool stuff. Sorry, that's what it is. You'd have to be a young man to understand that. The real weapons were the Molotov cocktails, and they were brought by the police, not by the actual protesters, without any indication that they would actually be used at the protest, which seems terribly suspicious to me. Now, I think the real people that should be charged with supplying material aid for terrorism are the police. After all, they are the ones who actually brought the real weapons, and a great case for entrapment could actually very well be made. Now, me, myself, I do have a terrorist weapon here with me. This has been used to terrorize a lot of people. These have terrorized a lot of American citizens. But generally the state doesn't count those. Now, a lot of this is just circumstantial evidence that they were supposedly going to do this or supposedly going to do that. While we should be acknowledging that the real terrorists in the world are NATO. After the ones, NATO are the ones going around the world killing people for, the profit of the elites. The same old thing that you would get from any anti-capitalist perspective. They're the ones going into countries on the flimsiest of pretexts and killing thousands, or in the case of Iraq and Afghanistan, millions. And this is the capitalist system which we live in, and the drive for profits and control of resources will always necessitate these, as many believe, terrorist actions against third world countries in order to maintain the empire. Now, personally, I think probably in the next couple of months, this case probably will get thrown out for a tremendous lack of evidence. Because all of this seems completely circumstantial to me. There's no mention of any recordings of conversations or anything like that. This all seems completely circumstantial evidence, and it's really just a waste of the court's time.